Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first edition of the Rialto Roundtable. Uh, I'm your host, Frobel, also known as Adam, of the Rialto Rincewinds. My co-hosts here are Marco Macro, the commissioner of Gopherwatch League and former captain of the Rialto Ringers, and my former teammate from the Rialto Rincewinds, Lost Silver Merrick, one of the best support players in the league. Super hot and sexy, of course.
Yeah.
And today we have a special guest, Jamie Flip Flop.
Hi.
And so basically, what the Rialto Roundtable is just a short little podcast where we're gonna do weekly. Gonna have new guests on weekly. Jamie being the one this week, and brief little overview recap of what happened in Gopher Watch League that last week, and just conversation pertinent to our guest as well. So let's go ahead and spend some more time focusing on our special guest for today, Jamie.
Thank
How about you tell us a bit about yourself for those who don't know?
Um, yeah, I've been in the league since season one when I was a freshman at UMN. So my very first team was actually with Mr. Frobel here. So yay. I guess that's why I was dragged in here. But after that, I was on the Rats and then on to captaining my first team of the Djibouti Shorts, then captaining the Phoenix, and now this past season I was on the Hamsters. So now there's like all three of us here on the same team. And Marco's an honorary member as well, I promise.
Yeah, I guess I'm a cheerleader or something. And actually,
Yeah.
I'm
We'll just we
completely
got people.
completely unbiased commissioner, of course.
Totally. But yeah.
All right. So we're going to move on to our first topic, which is going to be the draft. Let's do a brief rundown over the draft. We did it a little different this year. No snake draft. Um, it went pretty interesting, I think. A few standout teams, I believe, and a few teams that maybe didn't stand out as much. But I first wanted to ask you guys, who do you think won the draft? Let's start with Marco.
Me? Okay. Well, I guess I'll just be the duck simp since you two can't be. I'll be the duck simp. I like the ducks, but I liked a lot of people. But the ducks and if I had to give another one, the imps as well. The imps have a lot of star power. Those two were my two favorites. The ducks and the imps. So those are my two.
Awesome. And what about you, Merrick? Who do you think won the draft?
I'm going to have to agree with Marco here on the imps notion, but I also want to point out the Arizona OTs. They have quite the lineup. They had a late round pick in Strudel, who's a really strong flex support player. And all around, I think their team is very flexible, lots of notable standout players, and it looks like just a great draft to me.
All right. And Jamie?
I'm gonna switch it up a little bit here. I think the standout team for me is gonna be the Emma Skies, actually. Um, just you get Akua, you get Jack, and then I know Fancy is still gonna be a question mark, obviously, but you managed to pick him up in like the fourth round, so I think that that's totally worth it. Um, I would say their team kind of depends on how many matches that Fancy can actually make it up to, or make it through, I guess. But
Even without
it'll be
fancies,
interesting. Yeah.
even without fancies, they're still
Even
a pretty
without
solid team.
Fancy. Yeah. It'll be an interesting one.
Do you want to talk about like why it's not Snake this year as well? 'Cause it's
Um,
something.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sure. I'll lead this one, I suppose. I guess I'm the one who brought it up. I might as well be the one to talk about it too. Um, this is like we've had seasons before that have like a really big discrepancy between like the highest captain and the lowest captain. I think this is like the most biggest out of all of them. I think in season three, which is like directly, I think exactly a year from now. Was it season three or was it season four?
Season 3 was the summer season.
Was season four the one with
So
Viral? Viralden was captain season four, correct?
season
Yeah.
4 was when we first did
I
non-sync.
think it was that one then. Yeah, that was the first time we even considered doing nonsense because like it was like 1,000 SR gap. I think Viralden was the lowest and the highest was I don't remember who the highest was. It was around 4K, I believe, something close to 4K. It was like 1,000 SR difference. I think it was Kath, maybe.
I think it was
It was
Catherine.
Kath. Kath was like around 3.8, 3.9 or something. I think Viralden was around 2.8 or something. So it was 1,000 SR difference. That's why we did it. We didn't do Snake, but we didn't do just completely linear as well. We did like someone came up with the idea of doing a combo. I think it was Oaks to do a combo of both. And then this season we just ended up doing just linear through and through. I think this is the biggest season where the biggest SR gap. Who's the lowest? I think it's
We have Flambeau Jambo at like 2,800, I think,
Is
and
that
then
the
the highest is Bonesy, who's still like what 4-3.
I think it's 4-3. Yeah, so it's like
So
do the math. I haven't done
it's
math in
a
a
it's
minute.
a big gap.
So
Yeah.
that's why it's a really big advantage for the teams that have like the higher SR players. So to even the playing field, we decided to go with just a linear. To be fair, we do all this planning for draft, and it doesn't end up mattering all that much at the end because someone just ends up doing some crazy draft pick in the middle, like at round 2 or 3, and just screwing up all their order anyways. So it ends up not mattering that much in the end. But we thought it was like a good idea to do it for this. And judging by how the teams went, most of them I think did really. I think I mentioned during the draft day like stream, but I think most teams drafted very well this season. We'll get into like the actual results later on, but judging by like the initial results, a lot of the teams seem to be pretty neck and neck with 2-3-2s this season or this first week. But we'll get into that later, I suppose.
All right, and last topic on the draft: are there any standout players that you guys saw go really late in the draft? I'm gonna chime in first and say no bias at all, obviously, but LOL 24/7 going so late, the 56th pick. I mean, we're gonna talk about it a little bit soon, but this guy is a menace on the DPS role, and I mean, even his tank is really good. To go down that late, I definitely think he's a Mr. Irrelevant candidate already. Do you guys have anyone else who you just look at on this list and think, wow, like that's a pretty good player that went pretty late?
I tried to look at this list because I'm recording and I only have one monitor still. I need to get.
Oh my!
Yikes.
I'm waiting for my paycheck to
Um,
come in. They can get a second monitor, but I'm just
yeah.
a poor man until then with one monitor.
I know we already mentioned two earlier, being like Fancy and Strudel. I think both of those going so late was kind of a surprise to me. Um, Albeit I think there was like a valid reason for Fancy and everything, and I know there's like a ton of support, so it makes sense, but that still kind of surprised me.
Yeah, the fancy pick's like a complicated one because they
Yeah.
came in. Oh, they came in with like a not best availability. They made it like evident that their availability was going to be spotty. Coming in, there are people now who have spotty availability, but at the very least, at the beginning, they said that they had good availability, but Fancy had like poor availability off the bat. So that's why it was weird. It's kind of a topic we're talking about like as admins too, like whether or not I guess we're cool with that. Nothing, no offense to Fancy. Fancy's fine or whatever. But it's just an issue more so. It can kind of screw up the draft. As you can see, Fancy's kind of like got their own pick where you expect them to go first. But we'll probably just do something in the future where it's like either all in or all out. Sorry, I just went off on a complete other tangent there. But
All right, and to wrap this up in a bow, so maybe go back on topic after Marco's nice little tangent. Merrick, is there anyone you think went a little late?
Sure. I already mentioned Strudel earlier, but I would also have to point out Transflect went a little later than I expected. I got to play with Transflect in season 4. I think he's a very flexible player. He has a championship title under his belt on DPS. Has shown that he has a really strong tank this season, and of course, his main role is support. So I think seeing a really flexible, strong player like Transflect go 43rd was a little surprising.
I'm a Transflict enjoyer. He was on my team season 3. Dude's super
Yeah.
flexible and dependable. I like them a lot.
Transfect was our captain season 1 on the Rough Riders too, so like we all have the
Wonderful memories.
Transfect connection here.
He's an OG. He's gonna be going to Italy soon, so best of luck to him in Italy.
Yeah.
hmm
Rialto, maybe? Who knows?
Is Rialto real? Can they make Rialto real?
No, it's not a real place.
Can they make Rialto real?
It's pretty close to Venice. It's like essentially the same
Yeah.
thing.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Basically.
I'm thinking of
All
my hot
right.
take. Where's my hot take, huh?
Okay, on to the next topic. So we talked about all these players, all these pickups. We talked about captains in the draft. But what about teams? Just aesthetically, which teams do you guys really vibe with? You know, which ones do you really like the most? You know, I gotta give my favorite team favorite vibe, obviously excluding myself. I like the Pokhara Pushins. Pushins are really cute. The Pushins are really cute. I like the little Nepalese flag. I hear Ronan Centurion talk about how wonderful the Nepalese narwhals were all the time. Really got to give mad respect to PJ for sticking with the Nepalese theme. Hoping he can make another family that like Ronan so avidly talks about all the time.
He's got Mikey, so it's already once. He's pretty close.
Yeah.
He's already winning. You're right.
hmm
So
He's already finally got what he wanted, you know?
yeah. So Jamie, what about you? Which team do you really vibe with?
I might be a little bit biased because I drew their logo, but I really like the frogs. Um just the like that whole entire team just thrives off chaos, and it honestly kind of does remind me of the rats just because of that. Like you have three of them just automatically just inting into your back line like over and over again. So I love that. I think it's hilarious. We had a ton of fun versing them, so
What you, Merrick?
I'm a huge Iceland Imps enjoyer. I love the callback to the Greenland Goblins and season three's Galapagos Gremlins. I love that recurring theme. I think the logo is fantastic. It always makes me smile when I see it. Um, and kind of a really great looking team this season too. So I'm a big fan.
And last but not least, Marco.
Of course, as everyone was waiting for my take.
we're not threatening you,
hmm
but
Definitely not being paid to say this. The Dorado Ducks. They chose a Mexican.
Good take. Good take.
It's a Mexico team. How can I not like it? And they chose the what do you even call it? Like the Heisenberg mariachi band as like their theme. So
Yeah, the Ballad of Eisenberg.
the Ballad of Ice. Oh, it is what it's called. That's true. So it hits close to my heart. Maybe next time they could do like a Better Call Saul like team or something. I don't know. I don't know what you could do with the Better Call Saul team. I guess someone got to figure that out.
All right. Now, on to the match recaps. So let's first talk about I think the one that a lot of people ended up watching. Let's talk about the awesome anglers versus the Iceland Imps.
Oh dear.
Merrick, if you wanted to lead that conversation really fast.
Sure. I can start us off. I think that the Iceland Imps and the Awesome Anglers this week was probably the most one-sided match of the entire week. We saw just a lot of really dominant team synergy coming out from the Iceland Imps, and I think that generally they were on more comfortable heroes, and that really showed, especially going into map 2, which was King's Row, and map 3, which I think was Route 66. And their valiant captain Bonesy attempted.
Oh, did we lose Merrick?
oh,
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Literally
Um,
1984.
Bonesy's in the call right now. Hearing something about Merrick. Not talking too hot about his team. Not too sure what's going on there.
Can't let this slide. Can't let this slip out to the public. Sending DDoS attacks right to the
Merrick, are you
GWL servers. Yeah.
Can you? Hello?
Hello, you're back.
Hey,
welcome
did you survive,
back.
Bonesy? Is he in your walls?
Is he in your room? Does he have rip tire?
Are you
I'm
okay?
not- I have no idea what happened. Am I back though?
Yes, you're
You're
good.
Yeah,
back,
yeah,
yes.
you're back.
Awesome.
Technical difficulties.
No. Can I take over? I watched that game in its entirety too.
Well, I mean, if you want to take over, go ahead. Sure.
I think I'll
Be my
take over
guest.
from this. It wasn't a long game, so I was able to catch it pretty quickly, like over lunch or something. Talking about Bonesy, Bonesy did try to do some heroics, as you expect from someone of his caliber, but wasn't able to bring it back. If you looked at the Imps, they looked really good as well. I think Streets were saying, and by Streets I mean the journalism team, looking for like their top 6-7 players of the week. They could really, I feel like you just give it to any of the Iceland Imps. They all just played like extremely well. It's hard to pin it down on one person and one person solely. So
Yeah, there was really stellar team play on behalf of the Iceland Imps. I believe where Merrick was going to go was Bonesy played DPS for the first 2 maps, and for the 3rd map decided to go off tank, try to lock the hog. But wonderful idea, by the way. I love me some hog. But Zeus was doing an amazing job of just sleeping and anting him, and the entire team was always following up whenever he was slept. The Iceland Imps looked like a bona fide team right there. The Awesome Anglers, they definitely have some room to improve. I've been hearing of some issues such as availability on that team, but I really hope they can come together and be a solid team. Um, definitely think there's potential for them in the future. But rough start, that's how Gopherwatch League games go sometimes. Anyways, let's move on to the next match, which
All right, Merrick is
Oh,
back.
Merrick's
back.
back. Perfect
Are you
timing because
alive?
we were about to start talking about the Arizona OTs and the Chicago Cats. If either Merrick or Marco, if either one of you would like to take that one, maybe Merrick since you did return to
Yeah.
us.
Welcome back.
Hi, I'm back. Um, sure. I can talk about the OT's game and the Cats game. I think it was really a great series to watch. Um, it was 3-2, and I think that the Arizona OTs in particular is really a fun team because they have so many clutch moments where all of their players really get to shine. Um, I would say that a couple of just repeated errors from both teams on like a sort of micro level really is what led to this match being so close. But I would say both teams really did have their moments to shine. Most notably, I think, was the Anubis map. Almost every team that played Anubis this week had a bit of an adventure. Caber, yeah, so true. Caber 27 showed up when his team needed him most. Rolled out on the Doomfist and the Cassidy, and Roar had just an absolutely massive tack visor near the end of their push to secure the point and win the map. And that I think really turned the tides of the match. Like I said, was a really really close one.
All right. Since you brought it up so kindly, let's talk about the only other team that played Anubis this week, the Dorado Ducks and the Fiji Frogs.
How dare teams choose
Jamie,
2CP? How dare they?
how could they? How could they?
We had a bit of an adventure. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
A lot of that game was a blur, but I specifically remember Dorado was something else. Or sorry, not Dorado. Oh my god, Jesus
Anubis.
Christ. No, Anubis was something else. Yeah, both teams managed to cap both points in very, very, very short amount of time, proving that we both suck at defense. But um, alas, they managed to make a C9 on the second one. So we
Second
did
of the
manage.
series, by the way.
Yeah, second C9 of the series. So we have a lot to improve on. We got a little bit funky, so did they. It's really entertaining to watch a game where both teams just collectively decide, hey, I know that we're supposed to play here, but what if we just like send like whoever over there, you know? And for them it was always like, obviously Frog, Wags, Fruitles, but like for us we had some hog flanks as per usual from Frobble, you know. I was getting a little bit funky on the Zen, a little bit funky on occasion, and then like Nihoim and Noim Logan just doing Genji things in the back line. And that was kind of prevalent throughout the whole entire series as well. It was just mostly people were never where they were supposed to be.
And I want to give a special shout out to Lol 24/7. That series, he was on fire. Um, Definitely one of the best players in the entire lobby in that series. Just a stellar player. So let's go ahead and talk about the MS Skies versus Trebling Trout. I know there were a few ringers, I believe, on the side of the Trebling Trout, and just a few people off rolling. So would anyone like to talk about that game?
I remember that game the least, so someone else should. I got like
Um, I can touch on it a little bit. In particular, I I mean to give the Trout the benefit of the doubt, I am impressed by their performance given the circumstances. Um, they were of course missing not only missing Yeetmeister, but they had Lift Key and Wrecked Cactus both off-rolling with Lift Key on DPS and Wrecked Cactus on tank. And in addition to that, they had Bunny, who's a controller player, play some of the flex support, play some Ana. And given the circumstances, they really gave it their all, and I think did put out a good performance. It made for a good map to watch still. It wasn't entirely one-sided.
Yeah,
I just think that the MS guys really benefit from a lot of the synergy that they have from having 4 members of the Hawks from last season. And I also think that their lineup is just stacked, and almost every single player on that team is incredibly flexible. So they're definitely a very strong-looking team at the end of this week.
yeah. Their one's nothing to scoff at. It's pretty solid from the Shroud, considering like all the extreme circumstances. Bunny was playing like I said, like pretty for a controller player, pretty solid on the Ana. So and then good on them for stepping up as well when you need to like that. I know probably got out of their comfort zone with that, but admirable to step out like that. Yeah, four Hawks members. Jack's like a unofficial 5th. I remember at the I like the in-person plugs. Like Jack would just like hang out with like all the other Hawks and stuff. Like War was there, War, HV, Invictus is there too. I remember like they all went out for like canes afterwards too. So that was a lot of fun.
All right.
In-person plugs.
And for our last matchup this week, we had the Pokhara Pushins versus the Welsh Whales. Anyone wants to take that one over?
I can take that one. I remember I was watching with like my buddies over here. We were actually watching that game. It was a lot of fun. I remember the first map was obviously the most competitive. As KOTH tends to be just the most competitive out of all of them. KOTH is always just chaotic, so that's when it looked the most even. And afterwards, the Pushins really just took over the tempo of the whole series. It never looked this close again after the first map. The Pushins really got in their groove, and I think just really played like up to their potential as well, as much as you can your first week, I suppose. I think Mikey played really well there his first week. Maybe he gets a boost from playing with his buddy Animal. Maybe like he just becomes informed Mikey when he's playing on a team with his buddy. But like everyone on the team was also playing really well. Purple Jesus was playing really good, both on tank and DPS. He had like a ton of heroics on the Ash on Round Gibraltar. He would like, I think he maybe like twice. I would for sure once, but like maybe even twice. He killed like I think it was a Grigamil mid blade. So it was really cool seeing him clutch up like that. Me and my friends we were watching it. We were going crazy. It looked really cool. So good heroics all around from the Pushins. Just yeah, it's hard to say what went wrong for the Welsh Whalers. It just really couldn't get back into the groove after they started losing it out, I think. And it's hard to point out one specific thing. Very, very rarely is it ever one specific thing. But it wasn't a blowout either by any means. They had their moments. So wouldn't beat yourself too much if you're the Whales.
All right. The Pokhara Pushins and the Welsh Whales was also our first interdivision matchup.
Mm-hmm.
For a brief overview, this season we decided to implement divisions. So we have the Maroon Division, which has the Arizona OTs, the Awesome Anglers, Chicago Cats, Iceland Imps, and Pokhara Pushins. And we also have the Gold Division, which has the Dorado Ducks, the Emma Skies, Fiji Frogs, Trebling Trout, and the Welsh Whales. So for those who aren't in the know yet, every week there's going to be one interdivision matchup. You know, one Maroon team versus one Gold team, while the rest of the teams are just playing within their division. So we've got a few exciting matches on board. Personally, I don't know about you guys, I'm really looking forward to week 4. No bias, obviously, but the Arizona OTs versus the Dorado Ducks. I know there's a lot of drama surrounding that matchup.
There is.
Carson Lowell 24/7. He DMs me day of getting drafted. Listen, I don't care. I just want to play Reinhardt versus that captain of the OTs. I'm an Arizonan. I love T, and he didn't draft me. I need to MTD him so hard. And then when I trade for Jake Jumbled, this guy starts DMing me like, I don't care what happens. I need to play Diva against this team. I need to off-tank against this team.
So,
and, who am I to say no? I need to say yes to both of them.
So what I'm hearing is that if you're Flambo Jambo, start taking notes. they're running Ryan Diva.
Yeah.
It,
Listen,
it,
we're
it,
not hiding anything, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
no need to hide. I mean, I have so much faith that Jake and Carson are gonna just completely tank differential anyone that the OTs put out. But I don't know if you guys have any other interesting either interdivision matchups or just matchups that you're really excited to see.
What if Caber just comes back and just slaps you, just slaps your team silly?
You know, I just gotta hope that I can schedule the game for 7. That way, Caber won't be able to show up.
He'll just quit his job. Like, I'm getting at him. He's losing this game. He's losing this interdivisional game against me. Okay.
He's gonna take the day off. You know, he needs to win.
Just for the interdivisional game. It is an interdivisional game, so there's less risk. Obviously, like if you do end up tying with someone, that match becomes into play, and you're gonna hope that helps you more than it hurts you. But I mean, also you could just use it as a chance to goof off and run whatever you want, I suppose. So you really could just put on a show for all the people watching if you really felt like it.
Yeah. In terms of interdivisional matches, I have to be honest, I'm kind of looking forward to the week 3 one between the Awesome Anglers and the Emma Skies. I think those teams are both really, really good. So I think it'll be a super interesting one to watch. But aside from that, just regular division matches, I'm looking forward to ours this week just because we literally scrimmed the Emma Skies like week 1, you know? Which I don't know why we scrimmed the people that we're gonna verse week 2, but you know, whatever. You do you. But I think it's going to be an interesting rematch because we do kind of have a little bit of a feel for how the other team plays, but I think the difference between week 1 and week 2 is kind of it's an interesting evolution because you build up so much more synergy and everything just over the course of even just 1 week. So I think it'll be fun.
All right, and just a really quick question: is there a division that you guys feel like is going to be like a harder division than the other?
The Maroon division
just looking at it
looks nutso.
Which division did you say?
The Maroon division looks like it has like a bunch of like just solid teams in that division.
I gotta agree with you. I think the Maroon division is looking pretty rough. Glad that we rigged the league and put ourselves in the gold division. What a relief!
I can't believe how we figured that out. I mean, I would never help the Ducks.
Well, yeah, I think for the most part I would agree. I think we have some good teams in our division, but I know we mentioned it earlier, like we don't know what to make of the Trouts right now. Like there's still a huge question mark, especially for me, just because, you know, they're playing with like ringers and off rolling and everything. So I think that it's kind of difficult to say at this point, but I would have to agree with Maroon being a little bit tougher.
Trades can still happen, of course, and that can always just like shift things up as to any sort of ranking. So trades could always happen. They've already happened. We had Caber and Jumbled. It was Jumbled, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Caber and Jumbled. So could happen for any other team as well. Still early in the season, only 1 weekend. So.
All right, and now let's go to our last topic, which is, you know, just kind of the state of Gopherwatch League. We do have 3 admins here. Sorry, Merrick, you're going to be left out a little bit.
Oh.
But
he put himself on mute.
He says with his mic muted.
You didn't have to mute for that.
Yeah. I don't even think he recognizes what's going on. This entire scenario is completely lost.
Bro is flabbergasted.
But anyways, I figured we'd take the time, Jamie, while you're here. Wanted to ask you, you know, this is your first season being an admin. I know you've done a lot for the Gopherwatch League from before. What do you see as the direction of the league, and, you know, any key issues that you'd really like to get to the bottom of as we continue trying to foster this collegiate competitive experience?
That's a loaded question.
That's definitely a loaded question.
How will you make it the best league ever?
How will we make it the best? How will we top Overwatch League, you know?
It doesn't take. Have we seen the production value for Overwatch League? Doesn't take very much, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. No, but that is a really, really interesting question because we've seen so much development in the league over the course of I guess like what 2 years now. Wow. But yeah, like from our first summer season where we realized that availability was going to be not very good sometimes, to like, season 2 where we had all high SR captains as opposed to season 1 where it was just like a complete just whoever signs up. As opposed to now where we're picking captains via interviews versus when we would like have to find people last minute back in like season
Mhm.
4. Like there's been a lot of changes and a lot of things that we've had to work out. I think this season we've kind of worked some things out, but because it's also summer season, we decided let's experiment a little bit more. Which is the reason why you'll see us, why we're now going to have a losers bracket in playoffs, why there's only 5 weeks in the regular season, why we're going back to the divisions that we had in season 2 that we really liked, and like why there's no bye week. No
Mhm.
problem, guys. Um, we all hated that. So we've learned from our mistakes. I think the league will always be moving in a positive direction. I think the longer it goes on, the more we'll figure out, the more we'll work things out, the more we'll kind of realize, oh, we need this rule in place. We'll need to alter the ringer rule to prevent, another wags or swins. Sorry, I'm bringing
What are you
back
talking about? I
PTSD.
don't know
My
what you're
The
bad.
talking about.
Rinswins.
My bad.
I have
Who are
no
they?
clue what you're talking about.
You're talking about
My
the
bad.
Rialto Ringers, I think is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. My
Yeah.
bad. My bad. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's next. Obviously, I think we'll never really know what's next. It's always kind of like oh, what did we realize about this season that we wish that we can improve upon? Um, and given that it's week 1, it's kind of tough to say. But yeah.
We kind of glossed over the captain interviews. That's a very new thing, and
Oh yeah.
it was kind of impromptu. I don't think people know about that because it wasn't. I don't think it was very like well advertised that that's what I think we were doing.
That's
Uh,
that's true.
it's
We in season what 4? I think I proposed to you that we had the whole like, oh, rate your captain form so that you can kind of
yes, the
get a
feedback
judge on like,
form.
should this person be captain again? Did we like this person as captain? What did we like in captains? What did
Hmm.
we like to see, right? And then season 5, the captains actually got their feedback and everything because apparently we weren't allowed to get it in season 4. Thanks, Marco.
Hey.
Um, but yeah, given all of the feedback that we've gotten, we've realized like sometimes we haven't picked the best captains. Sometimes captains got screwed over by other situations. So like we figure let's see what these people bring to the table, what their ideology is, because us just saying, hey, do you want to build your team for fun? Do you think it's fun to win? Do you have to win at all? Do you not care at all? Like us just giving you only 4 options is kind of, I feel like, wrong in the beginning. I think it's much better to get a feel for a captain by just asking them in person.
I think it's definitely got a lot better. You definitely get a lot more information. The more information, the better. Because, but like no matter what, it's like it's always a little hard to pick captains because you never fully know how they're gonna like actually like act until like the season actually starts. But the interviews give a much better snapshot than just asking them for really simple questions. So I think it went over pretty well. It's probably something we'll continue doing as well. I was very lucky that I had people helping me to run interviews because I ran some interviews, but then I had the rest of the admins run interviews. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. So thanks to the rest of the admin team.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that's half of them are right here. So
Like
it's basically just thanking Fedora and Rusty for helping out as well.
All right. Well, I believe we knocked out everything we wanted to talk about. Does anyone have any closing thoughts that they'd like to share before I sign us off?
I have a sword now.
Okay.
I have a I have a knife with my name on it.
Yeah, mine's
Okay.
cooler. Size
Can we share?
matters.
Merrick has a duck.
Thank you.
I
Thank
do
you for the
love
duck,
that.
Merrick.
Very cute. And
He's
you're
still
still
muted.
muted.
He's still muted. He doesn't even care. He doesn't even care that he's muted.
My headset died, so
Oh, should have started doing like ASL. Wait, American Sun. Yes, ASL. Just start.
All right. So thank you everyone for sticking with us throughout the whole thing, or just watching chapters, whatever you decided to do. Um, we're this was our first week of doing this. You know, there's a lot of room for us to improve. Obviously, feedback is greatly appreciated. Uh, if you ever want to be a guest on the show, like little old Jamie, who we dragged in here,
5 minutes before the scrim, I found out about this.
yeah, I DM her before scrim. Hey, are you able to do like this podcast afterwards? And she's like, okay. Thank you so much, Jamie, for coming. It's really much
thank you very much.
appreciated. If you do want to be a guest on the show, you can just DM me. If I don't get any DMs, I'm going to start hunting for people.
And let us know,
Obviously-
let us know if there's anyone specifically you want as well, because there are lots of
Yeah.
things to me that you probably want to hear more about, hear more about the stories, get a little bit more of a glimpse of their personality, maybe. So let us know as well.
Yeah, for sure. Just like a nice little spotlight we could put on a community member. You know, just once a week. Um, if you have any sort of things, any sort of questions that you want to ask us, we're going to provide a forum too that we'll let you just send some responses in. We'll try to address them in a section for our next video. If we get any, assuming we get any, assume we're probably not going to get any, but that's okay. You know, it can be anything that you want. Marco is the commissioner. I am an admin. You know, Merrick's Merrick. And who knows? Maybe a question will be targeted towards a yes, and it'll work out awesome. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for watching.
Ooh, I
This
do
was
have a
the-
quick announcement.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, you like reminded me when you said something about the form or whatever. This is from Video Crew. So basically, we figure it might be interesting or fun to see like a top 5 clips of the week from the Gopherwatch League. So we will be sending out a form so that you can just easily like submit the clips or whatever. Either that or you can just post them in highlights and we'll probably see it. So it will probably be compiling it at like the end of the week just to be like, hey, these are the top 5. And let me tell you, whoever clips the most like videos or whatever from the streams, whoever clips the most, and all of them have to make it in, you know, right? Like whoever has them all made in or whatever, right? The most made in. English is hard, I'm sorry. By the end of the season, we will be keeping track. Gets a little bit of a reward. It's not a super big one, but it is one. So I think it'll be fun.
We're still poor.
Wonder
We're still a
what that
poor
reward
club.
can be.
I wonder what it could be. Yes.
We're still a poor club. We don't get any money. We're poor.
Yeah, sad.
All
What a
right.
tragedy.
Thank you for the announcement, and I believe that's all we all have for you today. This is the Rialto Roundtable signing off.
Woo!